Hey y'all, this is Courtney with Just Nurse Court, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. So you can see I have a crate full of stuff, and we're going to talk about this pretty soon. My last video that I did, I kind of mentioned how I was wanting to kind of learn more about herbalism and hopefully grow more herbs next year. And specific ones that I know that I want to make teas and tinctures and stuff like that from. So this year, really the only herb that I grew successfully was I have a little bit of lemon balm, basil did really well, and oregano did really well. I have a tiny bit of holy basil, and I'm just waiting for it to finish growing, and then I'll harvest it kind of before the frost. And I also have a tiny bit of, another round of lemon balm, I guess, actually, that's going to probably, I'll be able to get a little bit more. So I don't have a lot of my own herbs. I have a tiny bit of lemon balm, but I'm hanging on to it until I actually get the rest of this harvest done and dehydrate that. So in the meantime, I really wanted to try to start drinking some herbal teas. And so I've been doing some research and been on YouTube and watching a lot of videos. I really love the Honeystead. So if you haven't checked them out, which probably everyone who sees my videos already knows about the Honeystead, but definitely go over and check Kaylee's videos out because her and her mother are all into herbalism, and she has her own apothecary building that she has built there on her property. They grow and forage a bunch of their own herbs, which is really, really cool. They have honeybees, and so she's all into all of the flowers and herbs and bees, and as well as homesteading and stuff like that in general. But so a lot of this information I have gotten from her. I've watched several of her videos, but what I wanted to try to do is make myself a before bed tea. So I have a little recipe, so I wrote it down, and it's what they were calling Blissful Night. And so it used linden, skullcap, chamomile, lemon balm, rose hips, and then I thought I would add in maybe a little bit of spearmint just for kind of a little mint flavor. So I went online to a couple different places and I bought me some herbs. And I learned real quickly that I probably don't need a pound of herbs. So just word to the wise, if you do order any online, a lot of times they have like a 4-ounce size, and then they have a pound size, at least on some of these. So this is a pound of spearmint. And I have a feeling this is going to last a very, very, very long time. I'm growing some spearmint this year, and I have a little bit harvested, and we'll have a little bit more. But yeah, this is what I have learned is a lot. A pound is a lot when it comes to some herbs. So, but I have spearmint that I got from Mountain Rose Herbs, and then I also got some chamomile. And these two herbs were on their clearance list, so that's why I ended up getting them from them, just because they were a little bit cheaper. And it said that like the chamomile flowers were like blemished, but I'm not really sure how you would know that because they're dried anyway and kind of crushed down to not much. So anyway, and they are all organically grown. So I've got chamomile and spearmint from Mountain Rose Herbs, and then I ordered from Star West Botanicals, and both of these companies, Kaylee over at the Honeystead had endorsed, and they're also organic. But this is Star West Botanicals, and I got some rose hips, and then skullcap. This is a pound of skullcap, and linden flower and leaf, and then a pound of lemon balm. So yes, as you can tell, I have got a lot of herbs that are going to make a lot of tea. So I may end up, I'll try this out. I wanted to try to get it actually put together, and then maybe, give it a shot and see if I like it, if it tastes good, and then see if like it does kind of, calm me down and help me get ready for bed. And if so, then I might end up giving, obviously I can make some of this and giving it away. So that's kind of my long-term plan right now. And then, eventually I would like to, learn more about the herbs. And so that's what I have a couple books here. One of them is Medicinal Herbalism by David Hoffman. And these books were recommended by Kaylee over at the Honeystead. And then I have a few more, but I didn't dig them out. And then also, I like this one. It's the Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. And this one's really cool because it's got pictures in a lot. Not every single herb has a picture, but a lot of them do. So, like for instance, the peppermint here, it shows, what parts are used, and it tells about them and how, and they're dried, and then it gives all of the information about the herb. So like peppermint, which even though I don't have peppermint specifically, I have the spearmint, which is part of the mint family, so it kind of is a crossover there. But you can use, you go by the technical name or the scientific name, which for spearmint is Mentha spicata. I guess I'm saying that right. And so it does talk about right here the related species, and it does mention Mentha spicata, and they're a little bit milder. Haley, she had said that spearmint was a little bit milder than peppermint, and so she kind of liked it a little bit better in the teas because it was less strong. And so I thought, I'll try the spearmint. So you can use obviously the leaves and the aerial parts and dry them down, and then that's what we have right here. You can make essential oils from them, lotions, infusions, which is basically going to be what I'll be making. That's kind of what a tea is an infusion. And then you can do tinctures, capsules, and then it mentions some like precautions on here, to not give it to children under 5. And so anyway, it's just kind of a really cool thing. So its key actions is antispasmodic. It stimulates sweating, interestingly enough. It's antimicrobial, analgesic, and carminative. I'm not sure exactly what that means. So I'm going to have to do a little research on my herbs a little bit more. But anyway, I thought it would just be nice for some flavor to add that in. Plus, it has some health benefits as well. So let me see. I thought I would talk about some of these others. Oh, yes. So rose hips. I didn't have it in my medicinal herbalism book, but I did find it over here. So it talks about the rose hips, that they are like full of vitamins, and they have a lot of nutrients that you can absorb really well. It's a great drink for young children. It can help the stomach, like if you're having diarrhea, and it can be a mild diuretic. Then research has shown that it is helpful for arthritis, like osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and lower back pain. There have been some mixed results, but it does show some positive benefits, others don't have any. So anyway, I just thought it would be worth trying for arthritic conditions, and that is something that I'm actually kind of dealing with right now, interestingly enough. So I'm having a little bit of, well, it's a pinched nerve, but about over 3 weeks ago, I woke up and thought I was just slept on my neck wrong, and then I started having like really, really, really pain, just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and it was just like shooting all the way down my arm. And then I started getting numbness and tingling down into my thumb and these first 2 fingers, and in my hand and on my arm, and then it kind of goes on the back side and then up. And so I'm like, great, I've got some kind of a pinched nerve. So I've seen my primary care doctor. I actually saw a nurse practitioner before I saw her, and she just ordered x-rays and did kind of the basic things getting started. And it just shows that I have degenerative disc disease, which is probably due to osteoarthritis, aging. So there's not really a lot to do about that. But it did mention that I had some bone spurs, and I'm wondering if that's what's causing the nerve, if it's pinched nerve from that bone spur. So anyway, so I'm getting ready to start physical therapy for a few weeks, and then we'll get an MRI and kind of go from there. But it's just really anything that I can do to help support that. So I thought I would put some rose hips in there because of that, of the arthritic benefits. So anyway, it's not going to hurt. That's kind of what I thought. So I went ahead and put, so in the back of this medicinal herbalism. So this book is really cool because you can, I mean, it just has like everything. It just breaks it down by system, like cardiovascular system, nervous system, and then you can look like shingles and the treatment. So it talks about, what like specific remedies for it. So it's just really cool to, I won't take the time to go through all of that. But it gives you the scientific name, like echinacea, um, Avena sativa, which I'm not sure exactly what that is. I don't know my herbs yet. And then Scolatillaria latiflora, and that one is skullcap. But that's like so it's like good to help support the nervous system. But in the back of this book, thank you for bearing with me, guys, this is the new adventure for me. There is a materia medica, which breaks down by the scientific name, and then it tells more about the herb. So the first one that I'm going to come across is basically chamomile, and that is Matricaria racutia. I don't know how to pronounce these things. I'm telling you, it's going to be a learning curve. But it's basically chamomile. And it tells you like what to use, like the flower heads. So its actions, it's nervine, antispasmodic, carminative. I need to look that up. Anti-inflammatory, which was something beneficial, antimicrobial. And then I know just with chamomile in general, it's like a really good tea to help. And I think it's probably the nervous system portion of it, but it just is supposed to help with things like anxiety. It does with insomnia, which is specifically what I was going to use it for in this particular tea. It can help with migraines, vertigo, motion sickness, conjunctivitis, inflamed skin, urticaria. It just has so many good benefits, anxiety, depression, just all kinds of stuff. But those are just some of them. And so chamomile is a great, great herb to use, and it's used in a lot of teas, and they say it's a really good flavor. And I have just some plain chamomile tea that I have, from the store that I have used. And then lemon balm, Melissa officinalis, that one, which I was gonna see if I could get to. So it also has got some of the nervine, antispasmodic things in it, and it's appropriate for neuralgia, anxiety-induced palpitations, insomnia, migraines associated with tension. It helps with like cardiac system, like blood pressure, and even things such as the flu. I didn't know about that, so that's interesting. And it can have hormone regulating benefits. So it's just, all in all, it is a really good one. It says safety consideration. So this is an interesting fact. It may interfere with the action of thyroid hormone. So if you have issues with your thyroid, that may not be one that you want to try. And then peppermint, we kind of already talked about it. And I was going to see if they had anything more to add in here. So it's good for the digestive system, and I already knew that. And then it's good for like fevers, colds, and influenza, of which I currently have got some kind of a little cold or something going on. So sorry if I do hack and cough a little bit and sniffle, because I got the sniffles right now. So I do apologize. Let's see. The next one that I have was the skull cap. And so this one, we kind of talked about some of it, but it is a nervine tonic, antispasmodic, and a hypotensive. So it does say that if you're taking like sedative medications, that it can make the sedative medications a little bit stronger. So beware on that. And Let's see, it has soothes nervous tension, and it can be used to treat exhaustion or depressed states, and premenstrual tension. Interesting. Okay. And then it's like an anxiolytic, which we kind of talked about already. So yeah, so I think it's just like a lot of these ones that are like nervine ones kind of just help calm the nervous system, calm you down, calm the nervous system down, and then help you to be able to sleep, and then where you're not just all kind of wired up. And then let's see, my other one was linden. Yes, and so linden, and it's kind of same thing, nervine, antispasmodic. It is an anti-inflammatory as well, and it can help with arteriosclerosis. Oh, that's interesting. It can help prevent, and then also hypertension or high blood pressure. Um, and it can help with like migraines, and it's helped for like colds and flus, fevers, colds and flus. So it's very, very interesting. You know, you just start getting into it and reading. I could just sit here and just read about these herbs and then not even get on to what we're actually doing, which is actually making them. So I think that's all of them. I kind of talked about all of them, kind of what they did, what most of them. So this is obviously going to be like a little tea to help me go to sleep. So that is what we're going to put together. And I forgot to grab my bowl. So let me do that real quick. And I feel like I'm going to need my big one, because if I'm putting in 3 cups of some of this stuff, so I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of the rose hips. It says 1/4 to a 1/2 cup. So we'll see like how much it looks like when I get everything in here. And then I'm also going to add in spearmint. So we're just going to go through here, and I can smell the spearmint already. It smells so good. Mmm, yum, yum, yum. So I'm just going to do a cup of the spearmint, and like I said, I'm just following Kaylee's recipe. So I know that there's like specific, probably like weights and measures and stuff like that whenever you're doing these. And I have not learned all about that quite yet. But I'm just following her recipe, and she is someone that I trust on this. So that is why I feel comfortable in just going off of her recipe. Oh, this is the chamomile. That smells good too. And so chamomile, we're going to do 1 cup of chamomile. And I'm keeping these stored away right now in my closet, because I know they're kind of supposed to be kept in a darker area. So I just have them, I'll leave them in their bags and they'll be in the closet. This is skullcap. Okay, that smells, you know, very herby. And skullcap was 2 cups. So 1 and 2. And then we do 3 cups of linden, which is the next one that I've got. Okay. 3 cups of linden. So 1, 2, 3. 3. And that one again just smells kind of like, not really like anything specific. It doesn't really have much of a smell. It kind of smells like a wheat field or something like that. And then we got lemon balm, which is a cup. And I already know lemon balm smells good. Smells lemony. Because I have been growing this one. And it doesn't smell dried. It doesn't smell actually as much as I thought it would be. So 1 cup of lemon balm. And then we're going to add in some rose hips. And I may end up doing a 1/2 cup. We'll see, because a 1/4 cup doesn't seem like it's very much in this big old batch. And if it has benefits for, okay, so it's a nice, let's see, that's a 1/4 cup. Well, I think what I'll do is mix this up, and then I'll see. If it doesn't look like there's very much in each batch, then I think I will try mixing it up. And I know this is strange, but I'm going to mix this with to try to get it all mixed together really well. And I don't think that a 1/4 cup is going to be enough of the rose hip, because it doesn't look like there's hardly. So I'm going to go ahead and add in another 1/4 cup of rose hips. Because I can tell by looking, like, it just hardly see any in this big old batch of stuff. Okay, it's so pretty. I will bring this over and show you guys. And it smells good. I think adding the spearmint was a good idea, because that really adds some nice scent to it. Plus, I like a good mint tea. Okay, so I think that's pretty mixed up. So I'm going to bring this over just to show the camera here, so you can see just how pretty that is all mixed up. And then we are going to funnel this into my jars. And I think I'm going to probably have to store it in this big one. I was going to use my quart size jar, and I think I'm going to have to use my 1/2 gallon size jar, because I don't think it's all going to fit otherwise. So we are just going to pour it in and see. And it may not even all fit in this. I may have to put them in both. I think I'm going to. Fit a little bit more in there. I wonder, maybe I could get this in a pint jar. That is full. I think what I'm going to do is go grab a pint, because it's just a tiny little bit. And so I am going to go grab a pint-sized jar, and I will be right back. Okay, I got my pint-sized jar. We're going to try and see if it will fit in here. I think it will. And then that way I won't have to. Maybe I can just pour this in. We're going to try this way. Yeah. Okay. There we go. And it's not a completely full jar, but I can always take some out of this other jar if I need to. And I won't have to dirty up my quart jar that way. Okay, so this is what I got it made. a half gallon and plus about 3/4 or 2/3, I guess, maybe, of a pint-sized jar. And so what I'm going to do is I will probably just I want to label this. So I want to keep track of this and know that that's what it is. So I probably will end up writing, I'll either get a tag to put on here or write the recipe on there, what it is. And then that way I will know exactly. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill up my jar here first. A little bit more of the way. Okay, perfect. All right. There we go. That way that looks full, and that is still pretty full. So there we go. So I've got lots of tea. Lots of tea made. So I am so curious to try this out. And my plan is to try it out later tonight. So I'm going to stop the video here. But this evening, while I am getting closer to bedtime, I am going to make me a cup of hot tea. And we are going to try this out. And I will try to do it on camera so that you know my thoughts. But it smells good. It smells good because it has, I think, that mint in there. So I really like, and it's pretty too. I mean, with the little rose hips in there, you got the little red kind of color. So I'll bring this over so you guys can see it a little bit better. But in the jar, it looks really pretty with the little bits and pieces of red from the rose hips. So, all right, guys. So, like I said, later tonight before bed, I will bring you guys back and we will make a cup of tea together. Hey y'all, so it is later today and it's about 8 o'clock at night and I have decided that I want to try to make my tea. So I know I've got to let it steep for about 15 minutes or so, but I wanted to go ahead and get it set up. So I bought this little tea, whatever it is, holder to hold the fresh tea leaves in it. I bought it off of Amazon and it fits perfectly in this little thing, and then it has a little lid that you can put on it to keep everything nice and hot while it is steeping. So here is the Blissful Night concoction that I made up, and I'm just gonna do, I think, so there's like 1 teaspoon, I don't know, maybe 2 teaspoons. I don't know how much to do. So we're kind of figuring this out. So we're going to put a couple teaspoons in there. And then I have my little electric water kettle here. And we are going to just pour this in. And we are going to put the lid on this and then let this steep. So it is like 5 after 8. So at about 8:20, I'm going to come back, add the honey in, and then we are going to try the tea. So I will be back. Okay, so it's actually only been about 10 minutes, but I took a look at the water, and it's a nice kind of brownish color. So I think that it's probably steeped long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to the trash so I can try to dump these tea leaves out. Okay, pretty good. So there's a little bit of stuff that did seep through. I knew some of this was kind of fine, but it did a pretty good job overall of not letting stuff into the water. Okay. decided that this afternoon I was going to can up. I had some chicken that I had bought from Costco when I was up there last week, and I had got 2 of their rotisserie chickens, and I used one of them this week for, I had salads for lunches, and so I used one of them, and then I was like, oh, what am I gonna do with this chicken? Because I didn't want salads again for the 3rd week in a row. So I decided to, instead of freezing it, I decided to just put it into some quart jars and can it up. And so that's what's in my electric canner here. So this is some honey. Of course, honey makes everything better. I got this from, well, actually it's local honey. A girl that I used to work with, her grandparents have honeybees, and so I bought this from them, and I have been using the honey here and there. Okay, I'm so curious on what this is going to taste like. So here we go. Just tastes like an herbal tea. It does not taste bad at all. I can't really specifically pull out any notes. But it just tastes like a hot tea. And that, you know, of course the honey in there makes everything taste just a little bit better. But I am going to sip on this and we're gonna see. I'm just curious. I'll have to come back and give you guys an update tomorrow on if it kind of relaxed me and helped me sleep better. So I'm gonna go sip on this tea, put on my pajamas, and get ready for a relaxing evening before going to bed. I'll see you guys soon. Hey y'all, so it has been a couple nights since I tried my herbal tea, and I just wanted to give you a little update on that. So I think I fell asleep within an hour or so of drinking it, or at least of finishing it, and I slept all night through. So I was a little surprised that I didn't wake up and then have like trouble going back to sleep, because that really tends to happen to me a lot. I generally will wake up anywhere from 3 to 5 a.m. and I did not the other night. So I don't know. Now, granted, I was kind of still dealing with a little bit of a cold and congestion, which you can probably kind of hear in my voice, but I don't know if I just slept because of that or if it was the tea. So I'm going to give it a few more tries before I give you a solid yes that this is working. But I just want to come on and say a couple of days later after trying it that it did work for sure that first night. So I'm going to try it again tonight and see what happens, and then I will probably come on and do another little update and let you guys know after trying like the tea two or three nights, and if it really does the same, if it is something that I would recommend if you're having trouble sleeping. So I just wanted to come on and share the little update on what I thought of after the first time of trying the tea. All right, so I'm gonna have to film this pretty quickly because I just stepped outside and I think it's starting to sprinkle. I was gonna try to run out to the garden real quick and check on tomatoes, but I wanted to hop on here again and give another little update. So a couple nights ago, I made my sleepy time tea again, and it calmed me down. It was probably about an hour and a half or so before I was really kind of ready to go to bed. Maybe hour and a half to 2 hours after drinking it. But I definitely felt like it calmed me down, and I was relaxed. And when I went to bed, I probably was able to fall asleep, honestly, within 30 minutes or so, which is pretty good for me. So I definitely could tell that it kind of relaxed me and kind of helped calm me down. So I'm gonna give it a few more tries and see how we do. But I wanted to hop on and give you guys another update after the second time of trying it. So we'll see. I may go ahead and post this video just so I have something to put up on the channel, but I can try to give you updates along from here on out and let you know how the tea's going. So I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye, guys.